Because I know you're an oil and gas guy. You've invested heavily in that area. And I think you're a director in oil
I am a director on oil field services.
Why is oil at 56, as of right now, $56 a barrel? Well, I thought American frackers would come in and make sure the prices stayed down in the 40s, but no. What's going on?
Because oil is very fungible all over the world, correct? And the geopolitical issue in the world today is a little upside down in the Middle East, where most of our oil does come from. That missile, well, the missile that came from the Houthis in Yemen into Saudi Arabia.
Let me stop you for a second. There was a missile launched over the weekend from Yemen. Right. You say it was the Houthi tribe that did it. Shot it into Saudi Arabia. Didn't get much coverage. Correct. But you think that's one of the reasons why oil is going up?
Well, the prince said that is an act of war, quote unquote, when that missile landed. So if that's an act of war, and the Houthis and the Yemens, which is one of the poorest countries in the world, don't have the technical capability to launch that missile. So where would that missile come from?
Iran.
Probably. Who the Houthis are a surrogate army for, correct?
Okay.
So if Iran was behind that, and if the Saudis say this is an act of war, they're not talking to the Houthi tribe in Yemen when they say that, number one. Number two, there is a lot of, now this is speculation, but there is a lot of speculation that the Israelis are kind of advising the young prince, Salman, in terms of the consolidation of power. You also know that they just arrested 10 people. Right. So the big arrest there wasn't Walid, who is the flashy, big-time businessman. The big arrest there is the head of the National Guard, who is the son of the king. So there's a consolidation of power, and if somebody's advising a 32-year-old crown prince out of how he can put his country together to consolidate this power to respond to the missile, it gets all very complex. But then the Gulf states are involved as well, right?
And the price of oil goes up. Bottom line. Okay. Zane, stay there for a second, because I want to bring in Stephen Schork. He's with the Schork Report. This guy follows the oil market very, very closely. I'm sure you heard this, Stephen. The price of oil going up, $56 a barrel right now. Zane Tankel says he's got something to do with that missile that was fired into Saudi Arabia and the consolidation of power by the Crown Prince. What say you?
Well, certainly today there is going to be a move to err on the side of higher oil prices with regard to the uncertainty coming out of all of the news coming from Saudi Arabia. Let's keep in mind this consolidation started to begin at the beginning of this summer with the frayed relationships between the other Sunni power, Qatar, in the region, and now this just goes ahead and puts it on another higher level. So uncertainty is going to lead traders to err towards the higher side. We also have to keep in mind, Stuart, that oil prices, particularly gasoline prices, have been moving steadily higher since all of the disruptions in the Gulf of Mexico from, let's say, the busiest hurricane season since 2005. So we have logistics, we have infrastructure plays that are being supportive of prices. So it's a combination of some fundamental events that demand for gasoline is very high at a time when refinery throughput is very low. That's a very seasonal impact, and that's certainly supportive of prices.
Wait a second, Stephen. Wait a second. You make your money by forecasting prices. So you got to forecast them for us. Is the price of oil going to hit $60 a barrel? Is gasoline in America regular going to hit $2.75 a gallon?
In the short term, certainly $60 is a potential. We could potentially hit it. I don't see us staying there. The caveats here, Stuart, are that speculators, Wall Street, have never been more bullish. So they've taken a huge gamble. They have cleared the decks, and they've gone all in on higher oil prices. So if they begin to bail, we'll see a retrenchment. More importantly, what these higher oil prices are going to do is twofold. It's going to allow producers, U.S. producers, to reset their hedges and sell their production forward, so we could look forward to more U.S. production coming on in the new year. And also, more importantly, in the elasticity of demand. Oil is not demand inelastic as it was before. Consumers, thanks to substitutes, think electric vehicles, or do not respond the way they have in the past. So that said, Stuart, I think that $60 answer question, is it potentially possible? In the short term, absolutely. If we get the right kind of headline, can we stay there? No, I don't see us staying there. I see us retrenching back to the range where we've been for the past 2.5 years. That's right where we are right now in the highs. 55 in the mid-50s, and on the low, high 40s, low 40s. Stuart.
Okay, we'll take that. Stephen Schork, thank you very much indeed. Zane Tankle still
Very
with me.
welcome.
You heard all of this.
I did.
It's actually very good news for American frackers, isn't it?
It is. It sure it is. And we're right up there in East Texas. And
Yeah, you're
doing it.
drilling
So
in
we're-
East Texas,
we're,
aren't you?
we're drooling. But I